I'm Scott Allen Miller. It is the 5th of February 2022. This is the Sheep Guarding Llama vlog. I'm recording this tomorrow on the 6th while I'm out on a photo walk with Liesl, who has the Olympus Pen EPL9, and she's testing out a 15mm fixed lens, this fixed aperture at f8. It's a really interesting street shooting lens, and so she's learning that today, checking it out. I played with it some this morning and I love the results from it. I think it's really cool. It's a really interesting lens to get to play with. So she's testing that out on my camera today. And we are just heading over to La Iglesia El Laborio. Gonna turn around and show you here. But today for the video is Saturday, and started off in the morning working at the hotel. I had to do a bit of work just because clients needed. There's a huge weather event going on in the United States right now. Massive, massive winter storm. And because of that, we have a lot of clients who are closed because of emergencies, losing power, frozen over, unable to get people into work and so forth. So that's keeping us pretty busy with a little bit less technical work, a lot more just helping out with those things. So that made for a little bit of a busy morning. After that, we decided we were gonna go to the house in Leon for the weekend. So we also knew we have a lot of stuff that we want to move to the house. So we packed for several hours. We actually packed up so much stuff that we completely filled a taxi. We got stuffed animals and video game systems and just all kinds of things, and literally completely filled the trunk of the taxi with stuff and like backpacks and cameras and all kinds of things, so that we could move that stuff to the new house and get it out of the hotel. There's just so much stuff in the hotel in the way, like the stuffed animals. It was a giant bag of stuffed animals that takes up an entire, space. It was been sitting on a chair in the girls' room in the hotel for forever. They have almost no space. It's a hotel room that they live in. That was a problem, that it was taking up so much space. So moving that was a really big deal. So we're really glad that we did that. It was worth a couple hours of packing to get all those things moved over to the new house and get them out of the way. So that was cool. We came up in the early afternoon and have no plans. It is just time to hang out at the house today. It's very nice. The weather is on the hot side, so we're a little bit toasty. We brought the dogs up with us, which kind of is obvious, but immediately after dropping them off, I ran with Luciana to the vet, and we picked up Minerva, the cat, who's been there for about a week. The doctor says she's all healed up, completely at full health. She does have a lot of scarring, but not a problem, and she's doing really, really well. So she came home with us today. We bought a new cat carrier, so she has her own. We got food and litter and all that. Brought her back to the house and set her up in Luciana's room so that Luciana can bond with her again and let her calm down and get back to normal with us, but at the house. We're pretty sure that she's not going to work out great at the hotel, simply because we've discovered that there are other cats who live in the hotel, big cats who've been there for a while, and she's just a little baby, so probably not great to introduce her to them because she'd be in their space and hunting the same things that they're hunting. So at the house, it's perfect. It's an enclosed space. She has lots of room to move around, and it seems like we're going to be using the house all the time. So there will almost always be someone there with her. And we do need a cat to go after mice and bugs and other things in the house too. We think it's going to work out better. So we moved her there in the hopes that she would start acclimating to the house, and we were able to take off her cone and all that. Right after we did that, we dropped her off. Then Dominica and I walked to La Colonia, which is the supermarket not too far from the house, up just north of Ruben Dario, which actually makes it a different neighborhood. I'm not sure what neighborhood it is up there, but it's very close. Did some grocery shopping, restocked stuff that we needed, walked back, and Dominica's like, we'll just take a taxi back. And I'm like, what? I'm not taking a taxi back. So I carried all of our groceries back with us, which is, it's neat to be able to carry your groceries places and not have to take a car everywhere. It was rather a long walk with a lot of groceries though, so a little bit exhausting. restocked the house, hung out, spent time with the dogs. The cat really spent all day just hiding in the room, and more or less it was pretty relaxing. Cesar was gonna come by and hang out a little bit this evening. He did stop by eventually and said to meet him out at the bar later. So we decided that we would go out tonight. We're not exactly sure what we're gonna do, but figured since we're in town and it is Saturday, I mean, that's kind of the point of the house, is having the ability to go out and do things pretty easily. So that is our plan. We watched some TV like Netflix and stuff in the evening, and Dominica made dinner tonight because we have groceries and no one really felt like going anywhere. We were gonna get food from the Fratanga across the street, but they were closed tonight, so we just didn't make the effort to do that. Once evening rolled around, about 8, 9 o'clock, I think, we went out to Via Via. Dominica and I did, leaving the kids behind, and they just hung out. They have the animals, so they just chilled at the house with them, and Liesl camped out with the dogs, and Luciana camped out with the cat. And Dominica and I went to Via Via. We were supposed to meet up with Cesar and Alex, but they never showed. But Saeed was there with a group of people, with Tony and some people, and so we hung out with them for the evening and ended up meeting James from Ireland and some other people, but we hung out with James quite a bit. He ended up going out for street food with Saeed and us at about 2 o'clock in the morning, and then Saeed went home, and I tried to walk James back, but we decided to go hang out at Mihuna's and have drinks there because he got to see a real authentic Nicaraguan club as opposed to someplace like Via Via, which is really for the foreigners. And then it was pushing 3 o'clock when I finally got back into the house. Dominica had called it early and had gone to bed more around 2 o'clock. That was our day. That was our Saturday. It was a fun day in Leon, and I did do a bit of video recording, I should say, earlier in the day. I can't upload videos when we're in Leon. We simply don't have enough bandwidth to do it on our internet connection. So when we're here, I record, but it all has to wait for when we get back to the beach where we have the high-speed fiber and are able to upload easily. So unfortunately, that makes my workflow a little bit difficult because when we spend several days here, I get really far behind, and then I have a lot to do, not just for the videos, but for work in general, because I don't have the office and everything here. We have to figure some of those things out, and we're probably gonna pay to have the internet sped up at the house because it shouldn't cost very much to get quite a bit more. We have about 5 megabits right now, 5 by 5, which is okay. We can do most things. We can watch Netflix, but we notice we can't watch things in 4K. It simply doesn't have enough bandwidth for that. And when we try to upload or anything like that, it's just not realistic. So probably going to do that. That's pretty much our day. I will see all of you tomorrow.